Your one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Gas Beats on. And yo, RWBY Volume 5, we are official now. October 14th is when it all goes down. I'm like, yo, I'm going to say this before I get into what we actually here for. I had a fun time in the experiment of adding RWBY as something that I can sit up here and analyze and review because it gives me enough to analyze and review as a fan of the show. So it's good to be back doing work on this RWBY, even though, you know, RWBY Chibi, I'm still doing my thing on it, just having fun, just expanding on that. This Weiss character short, however, I gotta say, I'm like, given what it was, what it is, and when you get to the end of it, what it's supposed to represent, it does a good job of setting up where Weiss as a character arc is trying to go, because the whole point of that fight was the ending. It's like, while the fight was wonderfully animated and all that good stuff, and Weiss kicks some ass, was that it wasn't until the end that the point of why we're seeing this made sense. Weiss was overwhelmed and had to call Winter for help. And Winter just walks in and stops using her semblance and just walks over and says, "You were not strong enough yet." In so many words, you were not strong enough yet, and until you get strong enough, you'll never escape. So, this does a couple of things. How strong is Weiss now that she's escaped her shitty family, her shitty, horrible life that she was forced back into after her world was crumpled upside down? Does this mean that where she's going is she's going to go seek her sister's help, given what things are? More questions than answers, and given that this is a character short, that's what you want. That is exactly what you want, that's exactly what you need, and this was well done. Now, I will say this before we get out of here, because like I said, I don't need to harp on this for too long. One thing I did accidentally in the interim before this came out and before I actually sat down to take a couple of minutes to sit and watch it and then review it, was I read the Shane Newville open letter, and it gives what I watched in Volume 4 a whole different look and understanding why things were the way they were and things doing this and things doing that. Now, I'm not sitting up here and saying that I wholeheartedly believe everything that was in there, but a lot of the direction of RWBY and the direction of things in general match up with Shane's timeline. Now, here the thing is that as someone who has been in situations like that, when it comes to you versus your job of understanding the magical rule that your job ain't your fucking friend, is that you here for it and it's here for you, and that is a mutual relationship. As long as if I do something, you exchange money for the service that I provide, and once we done, it's a wrap. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to think, to have that lasting judgment where you forget the job ain't your friend. And it's like, but it's different because his investment in RWBY and his investment in his friendship with Monty and all that stuff, it got weird because it's like at that point, you choosing sides. It's like it's your career versus the family that you built and the family that you have, and how all of that stuff works in this weird cohabitative jumble of mess. And how I'm like, yo, it's nuts to understand that that's what really happened. Now, the thing is, it's like I read that. I'm not finna stop watching one of my favorite shows. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel any different about how I feel about RWBY's inclusion in Cross Tag Battle or anything. Nothing's changed. It's just interesting to understand that's what it is. Because you also have to remember, content creators aren't your fucking friends. People who run websites and people who do things for the community that you are, they ain't your fucking friends. That's the game. And we've talked about this at length without saying names, with saying names, but the game is what the game is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link this in the description, because yo, if you a fan of RWBY, dog, it's a must read. If you haven't, I know it's like super old, but if you haven't read it, take a half an hour and read what this man had to say about everything that led up to where we are currently with this franchise, with the people who maintain this franchise and everything around it. It's a read for that alone. I'm like, it hasn't changed my mind about what it was that I watched and what it was that I reviewed last year or anything like that. No. What it did though was it shed lights on questions that I initially had about how and why. And sometimes that's what you need. So, like I said, I will link this in the description, so don't worry about it. I got you. I'm gonna take care of that. I don't know when the next short is coming out, but when it does, I will review it a lot more quicker than this. I can guarantee you that. Things and stuff are happening. I'm like, y'all probably like Streets probably wonder like where X8 at. I'm like, I ain't had 5 minutes to sit down and actually watch it, because what goes into putting out what I do for X8 every week, that is a undertaking all in itself, and I haven't had enough time to undertake that task, because I can throw some shit that's nothing, but because I know how much the streets love it, I get at a little more elbow grease, a little bit more love, just a little bit, because I know y'all appreciate it. Before we get out of here really quickly, the re-up of the Super Mario Kart review that me and Jay did as the Diary Game Horror intro into the Super Mario Kart project, I re-upped that. So if you didn't watch it, or you didn't catch it the first time, or you want to see it without a picture of Peach and Rosie, you know what I'm saying? Even though that's what you into, you can watch that. That's up. I'm gonna be getting back into some things. I'm like, I spent my whole weekend like getting into some trouble, so I have come out with things, and I've put feelers out there on trying to get these things in and up and out, so be watching for all that. But enough talking about me. Yo, this was great. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can't wait to see more. I'm like, I got some plans for RWBY. I'm like, I really want to play Grimmer Clips, but you know what I'm saying? I downloaded it on PS4 hells ago, but I ain't got no PS4 in order to do something to record it on, but I want to do that. And I'm like, and yo, cross tag battle. Nothing more needs to be said. Can't wait to see what's good with that. So, link, if I forget, remind me to link the Shane Newville joint, and I'll do that. So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn this into a video. You know who it is. I am the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.